NJ, I can't believe it. Oh, fuck.
I really don't know where we are, Dan.
Well, the thing is, I suffered a concussion. I'm sorry, NJ. I don't have my sat nav or anything, and I don't know where we are right now. I'm pretty lost.
Well, for fuck's sake, phone the car not started now.
I don't know what town we're in. Are we gonna make it back for Raw? What the hell's? I don't even know what the time is.
If we miss, oh, for frick's sake.
We got 1,800 and whatever many subscribers. They're gonna be so disappointed. I
don't even know where the frick we are.
I know. For fuck's sake, man, this is ridiculous. I tell you what, I'm just gonna pull over and get a map or something. Is that yeah?
If we can find one, but this is really bad because we've got to get to Raw and we're about miles and miles away.
I don't even know what town we're in. Where the fuck are we?
YouTubers, we apologise for this.
Okay, I'm gonna pull over. I'm gonna pull over. I need to ask someone for directions or get a map out or something.
Well, worthless mortals, you are left here with me, Terminator NJ, while the members of British Fist are laying in hospital, laying on those whole beds, eating hospital food, all because of me. They dare cross me. If they do it one more time, they'll go back there again. And as for this Raw review, what's the point? Raw, British Fist are nothing without me. So until next time, YouTubers, hasta la vista.
God, we made it to do the review. I really didn't want to disappoint our subscribers, NJ, so I'm glad we got back to do the review at some point, even though my head still hurts. I think I've got a slight concussion or something, man. What an ordeal we just went through with the whole hospital stuff. Jesus. That's a life-changing experience right there, isn't it? Can't even...
What?
Sorry, I can't even... You can't even speak. But anyway, should we get on with this review? Yeah?
Yeah.
Let's go, come on. Welcome back, YouTubers, to another Raw review with us. A very slightly beat-up British Fist. Here for you guys. Mr. Parkin here. NJ here.
What's up?
Subscribe above, like this video, and comment your thoughts on this edition of Monday Night Raw down in that comment section below.
My head's still beating, but anyway, please make sure you contact us in the link to the description box below. Yeah,
we managed to watch. We got back literally just in time. We got lost in the car, and there was all sorts of drama going on. We managed to get back and to watch Raw just in time. From good old Chicago, of course. They had that big angle lined up. Apparently, I was kind of looking forward to seeing what they were going to do in this show.
And all I'll say is, people, sweet home Chicago.
Yeah, sweet home Alabama. Anyway. The first thing we found out on this Raw was that at 3 minutes to the show, apparently Lawler was attacked by Punk backstage, and that meant one thing. He wasn't commentating! Yeah!
I would celebrate, but the first thing I saw this was not like, he's not commentating, is that after what Punk did to him in that cage, I just thought, for a guy like King, who's gone through his prime, he's at an age where he's probably just sticking to commentating now, he shouldn't be able to have the ability to fight up against Punk the following week. So I was a bit about that, but it was another way to write off King, even though you already did that last week.
And I guess a different way to open the show as well. I mean, you had the official opening with Sheamus coming out. It was kind of strange, Sheamus coming out to the Chicago crowd, but they soon had CM Punk interfering to a very good ovation. And, there was no ways Chicago was going to boo CM Punk, really, was there?
Well, it's going to be hard to boo CM Punk now because even though they're trying to make him heel, he's still a character that many fans are going to like. So even if they're here in his hometown, they're still going to support him. But I bet Punk can go anywhere and get cheered.
And I think it was important tonight that WWE tried to establish some way of getting heat on CM Punk, and we'll move on to that later. You have CM Punk talking about how John Cena turned his back on the WWE Universe, and then you have Sheamus talking about how Rock interrupted Punk, but at least he had the guts to get in the ring. And you fella, do not even have the guts to get in the ring with the Irish fella Sheamus.
I wonder where this is going.
Yeah, I wonder where this is going. Oh, there you had AJ Lee coming out announcing 2 main events: WWE vs Cena and Punk vs Sheamus. And apparently CM Punk is also of the belief that, like WWE's booking team, that the World Heavyweight Championship is the second best belt.
Wow, CM Punk, wow.
Way to bury Sheamus there.
A little bit like that, but the way I see this is they do it pretty well. Yes, it's not the goal, I'm sure it would maybe been better, but you have the two champions going against each other, the two number contenders going against each other, two big matches there. Really nicely done.
I always thought Breakfast Club members were supposed to look out for each other. You know, kind of like we do, NJ. Kind of like we look out for each other in the fight against Terminator NJ, eh? Yeah, we'll move on from that opening segment. A good opening segment in my opinion. We then move on to Randy Orton versus Dolph Ziggler. Yeah, because we didn't just see this match on SmackDown where Orton won clean.
And straight away, you look at this match and think, right, they are trying to possibly build a feud. The only way to really do that, makes us believe in it a bit more than what we do now, is to have a unclean finish.
Indeed, but they chose not to do that on SmackDown. Match got quite a lot of time, 14 minutes including adverts, and surprisingly enough, Dolph Ziggler gets the win. And any win against a guy like Randy Orton is a clean win. And it seems like they're probably trying to build to a Ziggler-Orton match at a pay-per-view now.
Even though, once again, Biggie definitely nothing to screw her. But the thing about this, they're one over on each other in match-wise. So now we've got the fact that they could possibly, as long as they don't do it next week, it'll be a pay-per-view worthy match.
But knowing WWE, they'll probably do match number 4 on the pay-per-view and match 3 on a SmackDown or something. But there we go. So, what is the point of having Vicky Guerrero out there? She's not going to do anything. She seems more concentrated on her little feud with AJ Lee, really.
There's stuff I want to say about that which would maybe make my opinion on Vicky a bit more open. Let's get to that.
We'll go on to that later. We got a tag team match next. Sin Cara and Rey Mysterio versus Cody Rhodes and Lord Tensai, sorry. Big thing here, guys. Big news here. Miz was on commentary for the rest of the night. Awesome!
He's going to start a feud with Rey Mysterio. Yes! Yes!
No, they didn't really do that too much with that in this
What the hell?
But Sin Cara and Rey Mysterio as a tag team, I think I'd like to see that as a tag team at some point down the line. And I thought Tensai was going to be in this match to do the job. But Cody Rhodes did the job, even though we got a very good pop from the crowd. I'm like, how many pins does Cody Rhodes need to eat in this feud right now with Sin Cara? Come on.
Well, the two steps I want to say about this is, number one, the fact they're using Rey and Sin Cara together quite a lot. It's definitely teasing that they could become friends and form a tag team going up to between now and WrestleMania, because we still got a month away from that big moment, so it could happen. And Tensai, I guess they needed to have an opponent for, or a partner for Cody Rhodes, even though there's still Santa who weren't even here tonight.
Okay, let me get this straight. Sin Cara and Rey Mysterio and Cody Rhodes are in feuds, you would presume. I mean, Mysterio and Miz, most likely. Tensai's the one who isn't in a feud. So why is Cody Rhodes doing the job? I'm just saying that right now.
At least the right person pinned Cody Rhodes to continue that feud, but
pretty much. And Sin Cara versus Rey Mysterio could be an interesting possible WrestleMania 29 match. Maybe do the Eddie and Rey, we're a tag team, but we're going to see who's the best kind of storyline, maybe.
Or turn on them here. There's many ways to do it, but either way, it's a match that could definitely be Rey Mysterio's last, and obviously done a good job for someone WWE are really wanting to become a better thing than what he is now.
Sin Cara, a worldwide Mexican star. Unfortunately. Miz and Rey for the IC title and Night of Champions, would you think they have to book it, don't they? I wish they'd have built it a bit more.
Even though this is the perfect chance to do it, because if they do it, let's say next week, you've had a big opportunity here that they would have missed, but it's still the most logical match to have at the Night of Champions.
So, not a bad first hour in this Raw. It's actually pretty good in my opinion. The hour main event of the show was, we're going to get CM Punk versus Sheamus in the hour main event, but then we had CM Punk coming out saying, I think the Chicago crowd will respect me on my decision that I'm about to take the day off because it's Labor Day, man. And then they got a little bit of heat on him for that, so I'll say it was a good way of getting heat on CM Punk.
And the thing I like about this is CM Punk's mic work throughout Raw was really good. The fact they used the special day to get his day off, and instead of him resting, which we all want to see, it still worked for this, and it was the right person to take this day off.
Right now, they needed to get as much heat on CM Punk as possible, even in his hometown of Chicago, and this was a way of doing it, saying, you know, you're not going to see me tonight wrestling, I'm taking the night off because, you know, I'm in my hometown, blah, 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 blah. So that was some good stuff, in my opinion. We had Sheamus versus Jack Swagger after the break with Del Rio on commentary. Any surprise that after CM Punk walked out, we got the boring chance for this match? Jack Swagger on a losing streak and, you know, against the World Heavyweight Champion?
Well, we have our winner here, Jack Swagger.
Yeah, Jack Swagger. No. The winner's here, NJ. not Sheamus won, but the real winners here were the viewing audience, because we found out after the match that Jack Swagger is taking some time off. Brilliant! We don't have to see him on TV again.
Oh yeah, let's just talk about that segment backstage.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that, again, we haven't spoken about the match, but we're skipping the match because it was boring. But the backstage thing, okay, AJ's really losing it because she's actually begging to Swagger to stick around, be by her side. How low is she going to go?
Is that Jack Swagger's new manager or something? But I mean, the whole thing, Del Rio and Sheamus, we should really talk about that as well. They brawl in the ring, and then Ricardo Rodriguez takes a bro kick for Del Rio, and it's like, I bet they're going to do this whole, I'm going to do it for Ricardo Rodriguez sort of storyline now. And they're going to have this thing with David Otunga, who is his attorney on SmackDown, deciding what they're going to do. They're going to press charges against Sheamus.
On SmackDown.
Should really start with Grand Theft Auto, but there we go. SmackDown stuff for you there. It's some hype for SmackDown on Raw. Yay! We don't usually get that. Eve Torres versus Caitlyn with Layla on commentary. Do you think we can skip this? What was more interesting? Miz and Layla on commentary, or this match?
That's the thing, because was it for this particular match they turned the commentators' mics up louder than they normally do, because instead of watching this match that Eve is trying to make a name for herself once again, they were concentrating more on what Layla and Miz had to say to each other. Right.
Yeah, and your number one contender gets pinned by Eve. I don't know what they're trying to do. Are they trying to do a triple threat or something? I don't really know. Jinder Mahal versus Ryback. Should have had this finish at SummerSlam. You had it finish at SmackDown now. We're getting it again. The only thing I'll really say about this is the Feed Me More chants got over in Chicago, which is a good thing for Ryback.
And every match that came, I was thinking, right, this is Miz's chance. This could be a good thing for Miz, but no. And this match ended the same way it normally does, but there we go.
I must admit, I did like Miz on commentary. That was a pretty nice addition. You'd have thought that him and Michael Cole be kissing each other's asses a little bit more, seeing as Michael Cole is like Miz fan number one, though. We'll talk about the anger management segments. Last week, they were a highlight of the show. The backstage segments for me are an incredibly nice addition to this show. You had the anger collage with the yes/no thing, and Kane having the fire come out from the trash can. The trust issues they had to, you had to fall back into his hands. And Dr. Shelby has anger management issues. Like that was really entertaining. I like these backstage segments.
Once again, another week coming. They did really well with this, but with this particular week, they did make the feel it was going to be a tag team. But instead of that, they actually turn on each other by the end, and then it gets worse with this poll thing. Yeah,
you had the whole poll on Twitter: compete, tag, or hug it out. Now, if you're one of the 55% of people that said hug it out, go fuck yourselves. Seriously. It is, as Lance Storm said on Twitter, it's a sad day for wrestling when people would rather see wrestlers hug it out than actually have a wrestling match. But yeah.
When it comes to a character like Kane, you don't expect him to hug someone, so I was really hoping for it. Brian to be the one to go, yes, because they're trying to make him a face and try and get him over and blah, blah, blah. But with Kane, I really expected him to probably go for the hug, then Tombstone, or just to make Kane a monster again. But instead, we get this long 15, 20-minute segment of them trying to be friends.
Well, I don't think it was that long, but it definitely felt long. This was the part of the show, in my opinion, where it really started to drag and you were really thinking to yourselves, God, let's get this main event going already. This is why the show should be 2 hours. By this point, we were really just hoping for the main event to come along. That Kane and Daniel Bryan hug it out. Okay, they end up hugging after about 5 minutes. They end up pushing each other, and then they end up fighting, and then you have Daniel Bryan hitting Kane with a chair and running off. They're going to have a match at Night of Champions, do you think? Where Kane wins? Hopefully. Should we move on? Santino versus Antonio Cesaro in an unannounced, unhyped US Championship match, which probably should have been done at Night of Champions. Why can't we save these matches for pay-per-view, especially if you're not going to hype up to them, and especially seeing the fact that we've seen this twice. If we're going to see it at Night of Champions, maybe they're going to do a different match, but come on.
I really don't care much for Cesaro, and he hasn't got the crowd did either, because he just got no reaction. Even that little video package of him speaking with Xana, there's nothing to this. But like I've said before, when Cobra was just his hand, I thought, yes, that is the way it should be, because it worked, it weren't childish. But then they had to ruin that for me tonight.
Yeah, I really wish they wouldn't have based this storyline around the whole Cobra thing. I mean, I think they may have blew off this feud now, so maybe they can set up Christian and Cesaro down the line. But if this was going to be your rematch for the US Championship at Night of Champions, you've kind of pissed it away on free TV, WWE. It's not really the way you book feuds. The Cobra thing was kind of stupid, but that's really all you can do with Santino now as the joke character, I guess.
Sadly, when I thought, they're doing it on TV, maybe they're just going to give it to Santino, but they didn't, luckily. But I just didn't feel much to this. They've blown Santino's cover for me. I don't like it as much as I used to. The match pretty much sucked. The Cesaro won. What's going to come next? We'll find out within a week.
Oh yeah, and by the way, Cesaro won in 2.5 minutes against Santino. I hope they set up a Christian. Cesaro feud. I think that'll be pretty good. Slater versus Ryder, because they had a Twitter war and they decided that Ryder should have a match against Slater and Ryder should win. And what was even worse was the fact that straight after the match, out comes Vicky Guerrero to give a piece of her mind to AJ. And apparently AJ was a chair. Until AJ comes out and says sorry, and I'm kind of sitting there thinking, well, Vicky Guerrero slaps AJ. Right? AJ says sorry for what she did. Vicky Guerrero slaps AJ 2 or 3 times. And we both quit to each other this during the show. Shouldn't Vicky be allowed... Vicky shouldn't be allowed to slap a GM, right? She should have some kind of consequences for that, right?
I looked at this, it's like a bit like the Austin McMahon thing, Provoke-y stuff that he had going on. Everything can happen. The GM can't do anything, but the client, the wrestlers can, blah, blah, blah. But I looked at this and just didn't think this was the greatest part of Raw. Promo. And plus, what is it actually going to lead to? Because eventually, the way that AJ acted following this really was really weird. I didn't know how to describe it. It just didn't feel like AJ at all. And either this is going to be a stupid, make her go, like Karma, make her go a bit crazy or change character and then write her off, or I don't know what's going to AJ here, but this just weren't AJ.
I understand trying to put AJ on TV. She is some kind of ratings draw, as we found out during the CM Punk Daniel Bryan feud, where the 2 wrestlers couldn't actually draw. It was mostly AJ that drew, but. You know, AJ goes mental after the match, or after the segment. It was just another promo segment, and it's kind of like it makes the show drag a little bit. And I'm sitting there thinking, she's having this tantrum, and WWE was supposed to give this girl, she's the GM. You know, I don't really see... Again, this kind of proves to me why AJ should never have been the GM.
This is going to lead to her character being written up as the GM or all together. I don't know how it's going to go down.
Who really knows where we're going to go, but this promo, it just made the show drag a little more. Then we got to our main event. This is what we were waiting for from the whole hugging segment, really. I mean, we just wanted it to end here. I know you don't like Cena, but I just wanted the show to end. Cena versus Alberto Del Rio in a Falls Count Anywhere match. This was a pretty good main event, in my opinion. I only have one problem with it, but I'll go towards that towards the end. You had John Cena doing like an Orton-style top rope dropkick. Del Rio putting Cena through the table. They did make the most of the Falls Count Anywhere aspect, didn't they? And it was enjoyable. And very reminiscent of their Vengeance main event, which I thought was very good.
It really wasn't that bad, because Cena, as you expect him to be the superhero... Yes, there was times when he got a move done to him, but he didn't actually stay down like you would predict. But Del Rio's booked pretty good against John Cena. He even got mic time as he kept Cena down. So it really built Del Rio up through that. So in a way, the match was going really well.
Yeah, they even went backstage as well, which is a thing of times come past. And Del Rio even managed to get the win, thanks to CM Punk kicking John Cena in the back of the head. Now, I know a lot of you guys out there will be saying, oh, great. John Cena lost the match, you know, blah, 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 CM Punk interfered. But my issue with this, and it's the same issue I have with Ring of Honor, they do all that crap to each other in the match, then one kick keeps Cena down for free. Am I really supposed to believe that as a wrestling fan? I'm just saying, I know I'm playing devil's advocate here, but I'm just saying.
I'm very, 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 very timed as much as you want that Cena lost, and it was thanks to Punk, because that really puts that feud again over. It gets Del Rio a win.
Oh, yeah.
But I just saw when CM Punk came and did one kick after Del Rio put him through a lot more in the ring and out the ring, I just thought this was a bit oddly booked, but I'm going to completely forget about that for this match, and Del Rio beats Cena. In the book, they're done.
Del Rio gets the win over Cena, and you had the CM Punk interference. CM Punk had to end this show, really, with it being in Chicago. You had the GTS on the car, followed by a certain Paul Heyman being in the car as well. And that was, I'm guessing, the big angle that they set up. Paul Heyman in the car with CM Punk.
That really surprised me, because when the car was driving away, they actually paid a lot of attention to the window, and you see Paul Heyman sticking his head out, looking down at Cena. So he is sticking to the heels, and hopefully Heyman's going to be putting Punk over as a future more of a stronger heel through this. But the first thing that came to my mind was Survivor Series, plus a few months away. But I really see something building up here. I just look forward to seeing what.
Remember CM Punk, as he said last year before Money in the Bank, he is a Paul Heyman guy. So yeah, I mean, that was an interesting way to end the show. Paul Heyman in the car, wondering what the fuck he's doing. What was your overall thoughts on this edition of Raw then?
I don't think it was that bad. Again, they did majority of the Raw. They did pretty well. There weren't that too much video packed like you would have expected, but there was some segments in this they had to drag on a bit longer to fill up time, and they could have done it in a much less time.
The first hour for me was good. The second hour dragged. The third hour dragged until the main event. My one and only question here is that, you know, they've gone to 3 hours, and I understand they're trying to fill up the time, but goddamn, the shows drag on so much, really. And also, we still only have 3 matches booked for the pay-per-view.
They had chances to tease them during this show, but instead of doing it, they just kept it still and just booked in a wrong way.
And if I'm not mistaken, next week is going to be the go-home show, Raw. So, I don't know, they didn't announce matches for the pay-per-view. The first hour was good. The second and third hour really dragged, in my opinion. All the promo segments they had, all the filler, and it's just hard to watch a 3-hour Raw, I'll say that. But give us your thoughts down in the comment section below on this Raw, and I will now pass you over to NJ, who, even though is suffering slightly, did very well because he got more damage than me. Did very, very well to get through this review. You guys should definitely applaud NJ for coming back like he did and doing this review for you guys. I'll pass you on to him now for the outro.
All I'll say is that you can't see this, but my ribs all wrapped up. I just don't feel myself right now, but what can you expect when you get knocked down by Terminator NJ? But all I can say is thank you very much for watching this video. And from Mr. Parkin and me, NJ. Hope you enjoyed this review that we made just in time for you YouTubers. And goodbye. So the British Fist are back, are they? Well, they better not cross me again, because next time they might not be so lucky. As for you worthless mortals, the next time you'll see me is tomorrow in the British Fist Q&A. So be prepared for the questions that you've been giving me and the answer I've said. But all I can say is keep the questions coming if you want to see me again.